Welcome back, everyone, to the BlueBird Rivals Mini League Season 1. I am your host and caster, Son of Jupiter, and joining me is a very knowledgeable and very talented man in Wolfie. How do you feel after that first game?
I feel great after that first game. After that intro, I'm a little bit like you've flattered me too much. That first series was really good. I think it was a great opening series to watch because there was a lot of chaos, a lot of interesting plays that we all got to see, and I think that backing it up with the same if not similar teams later tonight is going to be always fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting to see how this all develops. And we're actually going to have a look at the standings, which has been updated for everyone's convenience. It seems like for the time being, Hazard and Relentless have been able to break away from the pack a little bit with the 3-1 scoreline, trying to chase the tail of Max's Ranted Rats, which again is sitting comfortably in first place. But now it's clear to see that we have 6-man battalions currently sitting in 4th position, which means that Southern Stars still have an inkling to get back into this. They need to win the next 2 matches to guarantee that they have an opportunity to get that 4th position, because for people at home that don't know, it's the bottom 2 teams, so 5th and 6th position, that won't be available to go into the final series. So it's going to be up for these players to really step up today and make sure they get those wins. And luckily enough, we're going to see one of those matches now. It's going to be Southern Stars going up against a team we just saw in 6-man battalions.
Yeah, and this is a pivotal game, not only for Southern Stars to get or claw back into it, but also for 6-man battalion to push forward. Because Southern Stars obviously need the win to kind of at least show that they can sort of be part of the competition at least, or get to that top 4 position. But if 6-man battalion lose another one here, they are going to have to look for some kind of weird tiebreaker scenario in order for them to even make it to that top 4. So this series is kind of going to shape out how the rest of the competition makes that top 4 teams.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot on the line for both these teams. They are desperate to get those wins under their belt today to progress through. So it's going to be a very intense, very interesting series that we have coming up for you. Just quickly before we get into it, obviously this tournament is crowdfunded thanks to context.gg. All you have to do if you want to contribute to the current prize pool is type !donate into the channel right now, and it is obviously going straight towards the players. There'll be nothing taken by the organization or the tournament. It'll go directly to the players. We are currently sitting at $280, which is amazing. Obviously, more is better, but this is great, and it will be split in the following way: 60% going to first place, 30% going to second place, and 10% finally going to third, which currently sits at $168, $84, and $28 respectively. So not a decent, quite a decent little incentive to get these players motivated. Obviously, most of them are motivated either way, but it just means that we can support our growing community.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to see, because I guess that's the main point that you were really pushing there, is that the fact that it goes directly to the players. So these players who are pushing it, they're putting all their heart and all their energy and all their time into it as well, because trying to be really good at specific things, whether it be video games or learning a skill or anything else like that, is a very time intensive job. And I think it's great to at least give it back to the players themselves, as they strive to be the best of what they're trying to do.
I would have to agree. And I'm actually going to take this opportunity as well, just before we look at the rosters of the upcoming match, to just quickly say a massive thank you to the BlueBird company. Obviously, for those that don't know, there is a BlueBird role-playing part of the community outside of Rivals as well. They primarily do GTA 5 servers and that kind of stuff. There's a massive community following behind them there, and we do appreciate their ongoing support. So thank you so much, and particularly Scar as well. But now, the moment we've been waiting for, the team rosters. So let's have a look at the Southern Stars, and we're going to obviously have the following players. It's going to be Kevin07, Sour, and of course String with AirMac as the sub. So these players obviously have, been trying to step up, been trying to find their synergy, and I know they are putting a lot of effort into their gameplay. We just need to see the results now.
Indeed we do. And obviously on the team that we just saw recently, Six Man's Battalion, we're coming up with Desu, Kia, and Lurky. We've seen them just a moment ago, but the big thing about it is now they're in a totally different setting. Both of these teams really don't know what to expect of each other yet. And again, similar to the last series, the first game is always going to be a little bit of chaos, but you need a bit of chaos with the kind of straightforward game of Rocket League, huh?
Yeah, well, without actually going into the chaos mode, this is the closest thing we've gotten to it. So it's going to be real, like we said, we've been harping on about it this entire time, kind of priming everyone for this upcoming match because it is going to be a big one. It really shifts the tide and how the rest of this bracket and how the rest of the standings will go for the rest of the team. So I think this is going to be a great opportunity to, have the players come in and try and get all this gameplay started. We currently do have all members in the lobby, so I don't see what we're waiting for. Let's get them in. Let's start this off because it's going to be an absolute cracker.
Indeed it will. And right now it's Southern Stars, Six Man's Battalion. 2 teams go in. 1 team's going to come out on top. And it's going to be a best of 5 series. And right now the kickoff is the first thing that we're going to see. And you'll love to see it.
Southern Stars on blue, Six-Man Battalions on orange, and as it started in the first match, Six-Man Battalions winning that kickoff, but it's going to be Southern Stars trying to use that momentum forward now, and we're seeing them come out of the gates really, really strong, and unfortunately for Kevin, not being able to get that first goal.
Both teams trying to be as fast as they possibly can. A great fake from String. Beautiful flick up the top. This could be the chance for Kevin 07. It goes off to the side. But again, the pressure's not done yet as Sour makes his sweet, sweet mark on this entire series.
I have to bring it back to String with that flick. It just opened up so much opportunity for the Stars to get back into this match. It's one of those plays that are really, really awkward, and it makes the opposition so awkward and hesitant to the play, and it's very, very well executed. So well done to the Stars to get that early lead. Definitely feeling themselves in this first match, although Lurky trying to do some mechanical plays himself couldn't quite get the second flip reset, and it will be for now controlled by the Stars.
You could tell he really wanted to hit that, and even his opponents gave him a bit of space, a bit of respect for that one. But right now, both teams really trying to push forward and push out of this entire match. You see String trying to get there, but Desu, a bit of an awkward defensive mistake, and he makes quick work of it, equalizing the score at 1-1.
Yeah, String just, the way he rotated caused a bit of hesitation for his team. They couldn't really commit because that lane that they were trying to take the ball down was taken away. So Desu taking advantage of that opportunity, and very quick equalizer in this first minute.
Indeed it is. It seems between it all, though, it's kind of a race to be who's fastest, right? You see Desu trying to get a bit of space for his team, pushing it forward. He's the only man in defense, but again, so much space for him.
It's interesting to draw comparison with the previous series because obviously having Six-Man Battalion, you can have a direct comparison, and you are right. It does feel like the speed and the intensity has really ramped up, and that could just be the fact that this is a very intense and a very pivotal point of this series. So we'll see how this all progresses. We have the pressure starting to build for Six-Man Battalions, although there's an awkward touch coming through. Lurky getting this dunk, trying to move the ball forward, almost opening up for Desu, but it will be blocked out by the Stars.
Bit stressful from both teams, you can tell. Nerves on both sides. But right now, Lurky with a good placement of the pass, but unfortunately Desu couldn't make that shot happen. The string, the flick over, I think that's just straight in. Wow. A perfect flick ends up being a perfect goal and pushing his team towards a 1-goal lead.
Twice now we've seen String with those flicks really open up the opportunity for the Stars. So I'm kind of interested to see how this all progresses through, whether String will be able to maintain that consistency with his flicking pressure. We're seeing him go for the kickoff, nothing really developing there, although Sour really having some time and space to set up a good play. Does get met by Desu on the back wall, but it will be good rotations for the Stars. Although, as I say that, a bit of a whiff there on the goal line. It's going to be straightly returned back, but Lurky not being in a good position to capitalize.
Yeah, String didn't give his opponents kind of any, not trust, sorry. He didn't give them any respect. He basically pushed forward expecting his opponents to miss that clear, but they managed to make it. And a great pass from Desu almost makes it happen, but Sour manages to get to the ball.
Kevin now trying to get a touch to follow. Doesn't have boost though, so Desu will take over String by himself. Really awkward for the Stars, and with Desu sitting underneath him, a very easy goal for Lurky to put in. And just a bit of misrotation coming there. It might have been a demo as well, which could have affected the rotation, but it seems like six-man battalion is starting to capitalize on mistakes.
It was actually Daisu in the net. He actually pushed the defender completely out of the way, opening the net up for his teammate and allowing them to equalize the goal. It was as much of a shot as much as Daisu's demo/push made it happen for his team.
Exactly, we did see some good team synergy coming through, although Lurky, one thing I'm noticing out of this series, particularly from Lurky, is how well he's been able to be on this ball. He seems to always have an opportunity to go for an air dribble. We've seen Daisu going for the double. What a redirect to get the third.
Daisu popping off. We didn't see it at all last series, but right now he's warmed up and he's so ready. The 1-2, the pass forward, the bounce off the backboard, straight into the net. What a fantastic redirect, and it pushes his team forward. I am so happy for him.
That was such a brilliant play, but now we have Kevin going for a play himself. He gets a bump onto the defender, and that will be Sauer with the power coming through and getting the equalizer directly off that kickoff. So as much as we're seeing, six-man battalions break away, Stars are keeping themselves relevant.
Yeah, the goal score across really made it happen for his team, and that aggressive demolition really worked out. And again, though, it's very much a tit for tat. It's that you can score a goal, I can score one too. You can pass it across, we can do that as well. And it's a game of catch up between it. But again, that clock has to run down to a 0. And whoever's at top at that point in time is going to be the winner.
Exactly, as we see Kevin, awkward touch into the corner, but will have an opportunity to get a 50, does do so. And now his team trying to capitalize on a bit of a mismatch here, getting a 50 again to advantage, manages to get the middle pass as well. That Sauer does take a shot from, but can't quite cut the angle. And now String tries to control the ball, but Lurky gets the read. A bit of pressure starting to build for six-man battalions as Daisu looking to put the ball back up to Lurky, who does pre-jump, but can't quite get the read.
He was so close to it as well. You saw how nice and forward he was to it. Again, he's still waiting up. He's put so much trust in his teammates, and it'll eventually pay off one point in time. But as of right now, it's not exactly working out the best.
Lurky, very aggressive on that challenge, managed to move the ball forward, but six-man battalion is not looking comfortable. Kia whiffing the ball there. String getting a very tight angle, but no one from the Stars able to follow up on that massive opportunity there. Although Sauer, will be able to put that into a dangerous position, and wow, what a play.
Yeah, no, he caught the defense sleeping. So six-mans, they were all kind of sitting there hoping for boost to spawn, and the only one who could get to it was Daisu. But both Kia and Lurky were really on, their eyes wide shut. Like right then and there was nothing that they could do because they were kind of sitting in the midfield with almost minimal boost, not in position to clear it out. And right there, a big punish.
Yeah, just a bit of misrotation, a bit of lack of boost control, but I guess we're seeing the Stars actually doing a bit of a boost stealing, which is making it really hard for them to have any impact in the match. This is a six-man battalion, so we're seeing Kia making a challenge for the ball, which Daisu can then follow up on. And it seems like Stars for now are feeling comfortable on defense. Kevin managed to get a long clear, but Daisu will be able to read it.
Yeah. But again, it's really interesting to see that even though Southern Stars are 0-3 in terms of series score, they're really giving six-man battalion a run for their money right now. And Sauer with a good push. And I think that with the 0 second, it'll be very close because as soon as it hits the ground, it's still up. Anything can happen at the moment. Lurky, an unfortunate touch on the ground. And Southern Stars are taking game number 1.
I really thought there was half a chance for him to catch that. The way he managed that first touch, my eyes lit up and I was like, this could be it. But yeah, unfortunately for six-man battalions, the run of bad luck just still continuing for them. But as you said, Southern Stars, they are currently 0-3, but they're never completely out of the match. Like even the matches we saw from them last week, they were very, very close at kind of breaking away. It's just those long-term plays which seems to baffle them at the moment. So hopefully they've been able to fix that over the week, and they're looking strong to start off this series.
Yeah, I think six-mans also, they are a very emotional team, right? Is that as soon as they're kind of in sync, working together, it's like clockwork. It just falls into place. A pass, a banging shot. It's fantastic. But as soon as one of them kind of sits a little bit out of position, it puts, a second player off, and then the third player doesn't exactly know what to do either. And I think that's the biggest thing for them. Southern Stars, they really kind of broke the status quo of six-man battalion's gameplay and gameplay style, and it really worked for them that game. But they have to keep it up. They have to keep up that pressure Because if they don't, we've seen it before, Six Man's Battalion can not only come back, but come back with a vengeance.
Exactly, and we, especially in these game 2 and game 3 situations, they seem to have a lot more revitalized mentality, and they come out really swinging. And we already see the kickoff win there. String will actually take advantage of that opportunity, but they're looking to, be aggressive early on, and this is where their opportunities will come through. Lurky looking to get the read. There it is. He manages to collect the ball himself, and again, like I said, game 2, they come out swinging.
Yeah, that was a interesting play from Kevin07, but again, Lurky not quite making it, and then it ended up being a 6-man challenge between it all. I think, again, they put a little bit too much trust in each other, both teams, and it seems to have worked out on the side of 6-mans to put them ahead, at least for now.
Exactly. It's the question whether they can maintain the lead as time does tick off. We're seeing a bit of small ball happening in the corner, but it will be String linking up with Kevin to make the play move forward. He does get a forward pass, but doesn't manage to get it on target. Gets the boost grab, so pressure is still there, but it will be nothing that they can take advantage of just for the moment. There's a bit of awkward play happening in the middle, but it will be Kevin to take control of the ball. Gets a nice flick past 2, doesn't get the follow through, and luckily 6-man's battalions walk away unscathed.
Yeah, 6-man's battalions are kind of counting their chickens at the moment. They're considering themselves very lucky, but again, the pressure on the side of Southern Stars really needs to get there, and Kevin07 almost made up for his defensive mistake earlier, trying to get to this ball.
Lurky now with the ball, gets a nice catch for the air drag, can't quite get the dunk, but does cause a lot of mistakes in this back line. He's taking a lot of pressure, although Kevin07 does very well to have this ball move forward. Lurky down to String, ping pong play happening. Daesu trying to get the boost and ball, manages to do so, but is depossessed in the process. And it's going to be Kia to try and move this ball for an attacking opportunity. Goes for the bounce play. Actually, Kevin07 not feeling quite comfortable on that play. And that's a second for the 6-mans.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not just on this play. I don't think Kevin07, especially in this match, has kind of found his footing. And it's kind of unfortunate to see, though, because they are a game ahead. But if he really can't kind of fix it up in this game, in this series, then, it all could come falling down. And the frustrating thing is it means that 6-mans can easily kind of make abuse or, kind of push forward and hope that Kevin's in defense because he seems to be making a lot of the mistakes for his team.
The pressure could be quite a debilitating factor, especially early on. And there's some mistakes again happening from the Stars. Another goal being conceded, and we've only hit 1 minute and 45 seconds, and they're already down 3 goals.
Yeah, I think, at least in this second game, Southern Stars really looking completely different. Like, I'm a little bit lost for words to how to describe it, but they're really falling apart in comparison to how they played in game 1. And I'm not too sure yet whether it's 6-mans absolutely just kind of destroying their defensive play style, or whether it's on Southern Stars and kind of making a few simple mistakes.
I guess it's a combination of both. At the end of the day, 6-man battalions are, adapting to the situation around them, and then Stars are just making some unforced errors at this point in time, as we see them all almost pushing up for that play. Lurky being a real nuisance on the backboard there, does manage a touchdown and keeps the pressure on, and it's going to be almost a 6-man commit there, probably a 4-man commit closer in that goal line. And it's going to be Stars now trying to look for the counter. Sauer putting it up in a good spot, but the EU cleared by Daesu there to alleviate some pressure.
Yeah, I don't think 6-mans are too stressed when Southern Stars are attacking, at least in this game, because they haven't seemed to kind of connect or make those plays and push it all really far forward. And, Kevin really trying to make up for a couple of the mistakes that he's had. But again, I think both of these teams are just trying to reset their mentality because they don't exactly know what to do.
Yeah, at the moment, just a little bit lost in their gameplay, and it'll take a bit of time for them to get back into it, but there is time to still get there as well, as we're nearing our final 2 minutes of gameplay. Nice fake there by the Stars, and now they look to be off. There's a challenge there by Daesu, and it's just done enough to cause a bit of a hesitation from the Stars, but they still do manage to move the ball forward through Sauer, who puts it in a good spot for Kevin. He's trying to get the redirect, but hasn't got any boost. Sauer with the follow himself. and he gets the first goal for the Stars.
There you go. You see the zero boost on the side of Daesu really did not help him out. He was kind of sitting in net, and the fact that it goes top bins and in, what a fantastic shot, and it puts his team on the board now. Again, it's 1:30 remaining. We've seen wilder things happen so far already tonight, and I think Southern Stars do have the opportunity to come back to this as long as they continue to do what they just did in that last play. But look at that. Daesu instantly dismantles it.
You can see that almost unfolding as soon as Kevin left that ball. Kia just putting it in a dangerous position where String had to force a touch, and Daesu, having all the confidence of where the ball's going to go, sits there and waits to get the fourth goal. So re-extending their lead back to 3 goals with 1:30 remaining, and Six Man Battalion's looking to close out game 2 strongly.
Yeah, and I think they are going in with such confidence, and it's worked out so well in their favor. Again, Southern Stars really seem to have crumbled this game, and I think in retrospect now, it seems as though Six Man Battalion are really the ones to kind of make it happen. You know, they're forcing out those errors, forcing it to be awkward on Southern Stars defense, and it's really good to see.
It is indeed. Kevin trying to go for a bit of a solo play, can't quite connect on the second touch, but String will take over, gives it straight to Lurky, who dishes to Daesu, putting a lot of pressure back on the Stars, just really stifling a lot of their opportunities. And this is where the Stars need to look to control the ball as best as possible. Kevin, no boost to work with, moves the ball forward, but can't follow with the second touch. And this is where they're starting to lose a lot of opportunity by just banging the ball away.
Yeah, they're really trying to now pass it. But I feel like it's a little bit too little too late, at least in this game. And right there, Daesu cleans it out.
Yeah, a 5th goal in the books for the side of Six Man Battalions, but that is going to be a 4-goal difference now for the teams with 32 seconds. So a bit of a hard ask in closing out this game. For the Stars, I feel like they need to just regroup and try and figure out where their defensive mistakes are going, who's, you know, possibly causing some awkwardness that they can kind of work on, although Kevin managing to get a nice dunk there.
Well, you know, honestly, there's not much to complain about in the last couple of seconds. I think you're right, though. I think they do need to take this time to reset their mentality and look towards the next game in order to kind of work towards building up that really nice offense that we saw the game before.
Exactly, get back to their former glory, their former form, but it seems like for Six Man Battalion's game 2 seems to be their bread and butter. They managed to adapt very, very well. It's now just a question of how they can close out the series as we get down to our final 10 seconds of gameplay. String fast challenging the ball, but Kia there gets a very nice catch and actually forces out some challenges by 2 members of the Stars. String just getting a touch to keep it away from the side of Six Man Battalions, but Daesu still manages the catch, still manages the flick, and still manages to score.
Wow. Honestly, not much to say as we hit the 0-second mark in game number 2. A very different game from the first one. But now, Six Man's Battalion are taking this one. And it seems as though both of these teams are really just trying to get the feels for them. And now, as we head into game number 3, Six Man's Battalion wanting to keep up that attacking play, and Southern Stars really looking to dismantle how Six Man's play and stop them from making those aggressive touches.
Exactly. They need to, you know, almost depossess them as soon as possible, especially Daesu. He's had a lot of impact around the field. He's the leading goal scorer with 3 goals, 5 shots, and 1 assist. So doing a lot of work offensively. And I feel like that's just because he's been able to play awkwardly and catch the Stars in awkward rotations, which is something that they can easily work on. They just need to be aware of it.
Indeed. I think that's also it as well, is making sure that they're making active and aware decisions. So instead of just going for the ball because it's there, you know, going to it for a reason. Hey, am I touching it left because my teammate's there? Or am I getting away from an opponent's player? Is making those active decision making whilst playing the game is very difficult to do, but that's the smartest thing. And if Southern Stars can start doing that into this game, they'll be taking the series quite convincingly.
Yeah, exactly. If they're able to adapt now and put that pressure back on Six Man's Battalions, they do have, you know, the momentum behind them to start forcing that way for the series. So let's see if they can do that now, as we see almost a double 50-50 in the middle after the kickoff. String beating out the attacking presence of Kia, and the Stars trying to set up an attack, but they're all sitting on the same side, and it's causing a bit of confusion. Lurky getting a really awkward touch, but Sauer luckily was able to recover well enough to get the touch. Kevin trying to bump out Lurky's done enough for String to get the first goal.
Six-man's battalion went all in on that attack. Kia was too far away to get there in time, but Southern Stars with a nice, reactive attack makes it work in their favor and really looks forward to kind of push towards victory in this game.
This is a good opportunity for them to capitalize on that overcommit, that over-aggress from six-man's battalions, but this would be an opportunity now for six-mans to just be a bit aware of their positioning, aware of how much they are overcommitting, and whether they can probably sit back and be a little bit more passive as the play continues. We do see String in the corner trying to get it clear, but Daesu getting the read. And this is where getting to that passing play, getting to a teammate is going to work so well for clearing the ball. Unfortunately, though, it goes straight to the opposition, and now Kia, with boost and ball, is trying to look up for his own play, manages to control it in the corner, can't catch his teammate, though, and has put the ball back on the wrong side of the field.
He really just tried to get 1,000 million touches on the ball, and I think it was that last one that just needed to be a little bit lower, or his teammate could have read it possibly a little bit better. But so good to see, because it means that there's the opportunities for it. But wow, Kevin, what a fantastic solo play, making up for the interesting gameplay we've seen previously tonight. And oh my goodness, he is showing us what he can do in attack.
He's in the Interstellar decal now, probably a comfort decal for him because he did leave and rejoin the lobby, so maybe a bit of a card change just to reset the mentality, reset the mood, but he's done, like you said, a fantastic solo play to get the second goal for the Stars, and now they're feeling much more comfortable in this match. Sour putting a lot of pressure onto Kia, gets the dunk into the corner, but there are members of six-man battalions to hold this one out, although that 50 does work in favor for Kia, puts it up, but Sour there for the support.
Yeah, double commit in defense. We'll see if it kind of works towards anything. Lurky, though, will be able to get this touch, pushed it towards center, and Kia is right there. And that is kind of closing the gap, really. Kia with a really good touch, but Lurky on the wall, managing to get to this one using the last smidgen of boost that he had, gives it an easy shot straight to Kia.
I'm always so surprised and excited when we see these high-level players, take full advantage of their recovery and, catch their opponent sleeping in a sense where Lurky, just having that excellent recovery to get that middle pass, really opening up opportunities for six-man battalions.
Yeah. Again, that's such an active play from Lurky. He recognized that Kia was there ready and waiting, and it was a fantastic shot. And speaking of, other kind of bangers from Kia, there's another nice EU clear.
Sour gets a nice flick, managed to get past Lurky, who was in a good position to get that touch, and he actually goes himself. Sour with the solo play, just catching the defense off sleeping in that goal. You see Kia not really sure of what to do, goes for the fake challenge, so quick to the ball, so close to the ball in fact, and then, just maybe a misplay.
Sour's patience with that one was second to none. You could see that Kia really wanted to fake challenge to force out kind of aggressive touch, but Sour didn't fall for any of his tricks. He manages to get to it and absolutely shoot it towards the net. And another one. Southern Stars have taken absolute control of the third game.
It seems like they've had a nice change in mentality, a nice reset after game 2, and Sour now stepping up quite clutch with the last 2 goals for this match. And we haven't even crossed halfway, and we already have a 4-1 scoreline.
This series, though, and the way that it's being played, definitely does kind of pertain towards a high-scoring affair, and we see it right there. The retaliation goal happens straight off the bat.
Yeah, Kevin just flipping into that and has no option for control, and Dace too just pretty much stealing that one away. I don't think Sal had the potential to get back to that one. I guess some may say he was making sure and sealing it away, but it did seem like a bit of a goal steal there. But it does mean that they come back into this match 2 goals down now, and it's going to be Sour looking to get control. Not a lot of boost to work with, but does have the read. Ball dangerously floating in the goal line there for Southern Stars, and it's going to be String trying to go for a shot, manages to see Sour but can't quite get the angle.
It was a good push and almost a great punish, but now Daesu has a bit of control. But again, String is really playing this kind of second man role so well. Him and Sour playing off each other, it's really good to see, and he almost makes another goal happen. And I guess it's kind of Kevin 07 to pick up the scraps of whatever kind of play he can make out of it, because both of his teammates are really kind of showing themselves as the stars of the show.
They're linking up very, very well. The Dominus brothers, in a sense, doing a fantastic job at this point. Lurky, though, getting control of the ball, get the pass down to Dacer, who goes for the bounce shot. Lurky is up, he's there, but Sour getting a clutch save on the goal line.
Yeah, and now it's Sour's time to shine. A great fake, but Daesu doesn't fall for it. Allows his team to kind of get back and rotate towards where they want to be. We see here, though, Strings really pushing up forward for this ball. And again, Six-Man's Battalion have to make another 2 goals happen in a minute. We've seen it happen before, but they just can't get as stressed as we've seen.
Oh, I kind of like that play there by Sour and Kevin. Sour opting to go for the play, but Kevin actually taking the shot. It was a bit of a nice fake. Unfortunately for them, it didn't work out in a goal, but they are looking very creative and very adaptive at the moment as they look to close out game number 3. Final 50-second String with the ball, trying to go for the flick, but fast challenge by Daesu. Bit of an awkward commit there, but Sour being very, very aggressive on the play. They're managing a few touches. Kevin, unfortunately, not being able to read that corner play.
Yeah, look at that. 2 defenders go up, but no one touches the ball. 30 seconds remaining. And I think, you know, with the amount of space that Six-Man is giving Southern Stars whenever they have ball control, it's very scary to see with 20 seconds remaining, because I don't know if they can make these last 2 goals happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive ask, but there's going to be opportunities there as Daesu slots it in the upper left corner, threads the needle on that play, and brings them back to an opportunity. 16 seconds, 1 kickoff goal can definitely bring them back into an overtime situation. They just need to focus on this next kickoff. Will they manage to get a 4th as time ticks down? Kevin manages the win, but it will go in favor of Lurky, who goes for a bit of a solo play, trying to get the cut. He's forced out a double commit by the defenders, but String clutched to get back there just in time.
And Kia now going for the push with 3 seconds remaining. This will be the last play of the game. Daesu touches it down. Kevin decides to keep it up. I'm not too sure about that one. It's still up in the air. And right now, String goes up for it. Kia again to the ball, pushes it away to the side. Can Daesu get there? The great fake. Southern Stars finalize this game. They needed 2 questions to be answered, and Six-Man's answered 1, but the second one they just couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, it does seem a bit unfortunate there, and it's Stars, you know, having a bit of resurgence in game 3. It was good to see them adapt and kind of be a little bit more creative. I do want to definitely highlight Sour. Like you said, his patience and his ability to be relevant in the match has stepped up and has been a major factor for the Stars' victory there. But it's now a question, can they close out the series? Can they finally get their first win?
Well, these are the questions that are going to be answered, you know, either in this game or the next, because Southern Stars, right? They are now 1 game away from a series win, and their first series win as that. While Six-Man's Battalion, it's either, you know, they're put in an awkward spot for the next 2 games, or they're put in an awkward spot in the entire series. And this
Exactly.
This is the question that needs to be answered. Can Six-Man step up to the plate, or will Southern Stars shut them down and push them out of the competition?
It's going to be a question, because at this point, if the current standings are correct, and I do trust my team that they are, Six-Man Battalions are currently sitting at 2-2, which means if they lose this one, they'll be 2-3, and Stars will be 1-3. So it leaves the opportunity, it leaves that lingering moment for the Stars to crawl back and possibly sneak away that 4th position.
Yeah, and as we head into this game number 4 of possibly 5, again, we're not exactly too sure. Southern Stars really want to come roaring out of the gate. Well, Six-Man's, you can see already Daesu's in the net, trying to be as aggressive as he wants to, try to force the mistakes out of his opponents.
Yeah, sometimes these aggressive plays can work out, but it seems like Southern Stars are adapting really well, and we see String challenging that ball, keeps the ball relevant in their half, gets a nice bump on the rotation out as well, and this is forcing some awkward plays out of Six-Man's Battalion. We do see Kevin trying to force out a couple of plays, manages a demo as well, and the aggression coming out of Southern Stars from the gate is unlike what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's really good to see, because you can tell they didn't have it in the previous games, but they're really pushing for it in this one. And I think they need to keep it up if they want, you know, a victory to come out. And oh my goodness, String punishing Lurky for a simple mistake, trying to make that solo play happen, but couldn't quite get the touch he wanted.
I guess it was Lurky as well who did make the mistake, but Kia's touch in the corner left it open for a nice play there as well. So a couple of misplays, unforced errors, I guess, so to speak, coming out of Six-Man's Battalion to set up the Stars for a good opportunity and a good start to game number 4, but they're looking to counterattack straight away as we see Lurky getting an infield pass, but Daesu not in anywhere, shape or form there for the pass. And it's going to be Kia trying to move this ball out, but that touch just not working out in his favor. Although he's somehow made it into a good play, and Daesu, oh no, he couldn't cut the angle.
You win as a team or you lose as a team. And even though, you know, one might not be as strong as the others, you are only as strong as your whole. And this is what we need to see here, because Six-Man's Battalion really have to push for the win, and a pinch out almost makes it happen for Southern Stars.
I would have lost my mind if that pinch just went from goal to goal with an absolute incredible velocity, but it doesn't work out in that favor. Although Stars are looking to pounce, and String is going to get credited for the second goal, and it seems like Southern Stars have so much confidence and momentum working in their favor.
String really punishing Lurky. You could tell though, Lurky missed the flick, which is what he wanted to do. He just wanted to flick it straight up into the corner, but couldn't quite get the touch to give his team the time to rotate out. So everyone was rushed for time, and you know, Six-Man's again, they're kind of falling apart in this series.
They are indeed. It seems like they're just, you know, the pressure and the amount of stress that's happening at the moment is not working for them. It seems a few unforced errors is really being their demon at the moment, as we see them just flying at the ball, double commits coming left, right, and center. And for the Stars, they just need to sit patiently and wait for the ball to fall in their lap.
Exactly. And what you can see as well is that Six-Man's, not only are they getting stressed in the game that we can see, but you can definitely tell that throughout the way that they're talking to each other and the way they're communicating their moves, they're getting stressed out of the game. And they're really frustrated because you can tell that they don't feel like they should be in this position. And admittedly, if I was on, you know, Six-Man's Battalion, I would think that I wouldn't be in this position either. But you need to face the reality of it, and you have to at least come up with a level head to get there, and they're not quite doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Just playing into their emotions a little bit, but there's still plenty of time for them to get back into this match. Just over 2 minutes of gameplay to be had in this game number 4. But it's going to be String getting past one, gets the corner, can't quite cut it, although Sour has done well enough to capitalize on the play, and Kevin getting credited for the goal.
But as we saw, it's all three of Southern Stars is there, and where's the defense? Where's the clearance from Six-Man's Battalion? They are being torn to shreds at the moment by Southern Stars, and that is me being nice about it.
I mean, I have to agree. At the moment, like you said, we've had no member of Six-Man's Battalion anywhere remotely close to that goal line. And even just there, they're not having any luck. They're going straight, hitting the post and out. Just seems like Six-Man's Battalion have no luck currently in this match.
Not in this game, and it seems as though that if this continues for the next, you know, couple of minutes, it's gonna be a straight win, because String, it is now a 4-0 punishing victory. Six-Man's Battalion are getting absolutely dismantled. Southern Stars really stepping up in the competition and look to take their first series win.
They are looking very confident, and it seems like luck is going their way. That play with String and Kevin, the way String was able to get a little pop off the driving like a straight underneath the ball, just having all the control there. It's great to see. It's entertaining to see. But for Six-Man's Battalion, you are now 4 goals down with 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock. You need to be effective on your scoring. You need to give yourself some opportunities. And that's going to be a good start by Daesu, getting the first goal for Game 4.
This could be the start of the comeback, and this is something that I want to see Daesu. We've seen him do it before, and we'll see him do it time and time again. He scores an absolute banger of a goal. What a great double touch pass. And right now, another 3 of those have to happen, because if not, they are knocked out of this series.
Exactly, but it all starts with the kickoff. They need to make sure they're setting up very effectively as best as possible from the kickoff, although they do need to make sure they dispossess String at the moment, who's been playing very solidly for the Stars. Lurky, though, with the ball, will try and get the flick. Kevin with the challenge, looks to pop it into the middle, manages to find String, and the coordination from Stars is starting to ramp up.
Exactly, and right then and there, I think Stars really kind of wanted to show Six-Man's that you think you can come back? The answer is absolutely not. We are going to dismantle you and make sure to put you in the ground. We're putting you 6 feet under, making sure that you cannot come back into this series, and we are solidifying our win.
Exactly. If you were to look at the standings prior to this match, you would almost think this was a given, but Stars have stepped up in a huge way, and definitely not a 0-3 team that you would have thought so. There's going to be Kevin getting the ball out of the play. Sauer, even though it was bumped, still managed to get the 50 challenge. And now a bit of confusion, a bit of disarray for the Stars, but I guess they're just having fun with it, trying to burn time off the clock with the 4-goal lead.
Exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to burn time off the clock because as soon as they do that, it absolutely clears it out. And it makes sure that there's never going to be anything that Six Mans can do to get back into this series. And look, with 20 seconds remaining, I'm pretty darn confident. It seems as though Southern Stars are on the cusp of winning their first series of the entire showdown.
It does seem exactly that, which is going to be a massive momentum and confidence boost going into the next match, which is their final match up against, I believe it will be Relentless, which is a match that's going to be off stream. Sauer getting credited for a last goal, but just an absolute massive step up for the Stars in this match. They did look a little bit shaky from game 2. Obviously, they did let that game go down, but straight away they were able to bounce back, really consolidate and step up and, come out on top.
Absolutely. What a fantastic showing from both teams. Even though Six Mans, it's a little bit disappointing to see, you have to say that Southern Stars played that really well. And I think from there, with that absolute confidence boost, they could probably look to win at least, hopefully a second series in it and kind of look towards that tiebreaker season in order to get into the top 4.
I'm really going to be just staring at this standing the entire time in the next bracket to see how everything's going to unfold, whether Stars manage to get their second win and put it into that really interesting tiebreaker situation between themselves and Six Mans Battalions, because currently Six Mans Battalion is at 2 and 3. So let's have a quick look at the standings, see if anything has changed. It seems that Max's Rancid Rats for the time being, again, still sitting nice and pretty at the 4-0 on top. We'll be seeing them up next for their 5th and final match. Hazard now sitting at 3-1, Relentless 3-1, but it's going to be Six Mans Battalions having that 5th game loss. So 2 and 3, Southern Stars getting their first for this mini league season. So the question comes, how's this going to break down? I guess we'll have to look at that a little bit later because we are done for this game too. It seems a great way to have that second match unfold. I was really excited to see all the gameplay and how everything unfolded.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Southern Stars came out and won that, if you asked me at the start of the series, I would definitely not have picked that. It was a fantastic showing, some really nice, aggressive plays. And what I love to see as well is that you see the start of kind of the team plays, those 1-2 passes, the passes into the midfield, the stuff that, the guys at the absolute top of Oceania do. And they're taking inspiration from that. And it is fantastic to see.
Yeah, that one passing play from Kevin down to String where he flipped into the ball on the backboard, still managed to recover, get the touchdown for String to get the shot. That's some really high tier play. And that's the exciting play that we love to see. But it's just going to be a question of whether they can maintain that level of standard with their gameplay moving forward. But that's going to be us having that series done and dusted. Second round is finished. We're going to take a very short break as we set up for our last and final matches for the entire mini league series, and then we'll be announcing who is going to be in the grand final for next week. So don't go anywhere.